What's up everybody, welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be taking a look at my Madden 07 settings that I use in the Albuquerque Vipers franchise. This is at least what I've been currently running with. They have changed throughout the years, but as of June 2022, this is what I'm doing. For just over the last year now, I've been playing on 10-minute quarters with accelerated clock turned on. Previous to that, I was playing 6-minute quarters without accelerated clock. I play on All Pro, as many of you know, and some people maybe they don't like that, but whatever. I just hate using the quarterback vision cone. If it wasn't for that, I would be playing on all Madden, but also at the same time, my channel isn't about the most difficulty in the world and going up against that. I go for more of a realistic simulation style of video, if you couldn't already tell on the channel. And so, going for what's, what I feel to be realistic. And I feel like for the most part, this series has played out pretty close to that. Obviously, it's a video game, it's not going to be perfect. Coach mode off. Obviously, for a realistic series, I have injuries on. Game fatigue is on. The players are going to get tired throughout the game. Trade deadline is on, which is week 6 as opposed to week 8 as it is now in real life. My blocking controls, I'm pretty sure it's all just standard stuff here. For custom game, I got my player lock on. I'm always on the same, player. Normally using the defensive line because it's harder to screw things up when you're there. The auto sub in and out. Quarterback vision is obviously going to be off. Bunch of the auto stuff is off as well, but I do have a couple of the auto stuff on currently. Injury, this is something I've messed with a lot. There's no specific number you can give it. It's kind of just a rating here. And honestly, if it wasn't for Orlando Cross already getting hurt as often as he did, I feel like not enough players get injured, maybe on our team at least. So if it wasn't for Cross already, getting hurt a ton, the injury sliders might be turned up a little bit. Sim injuries, they're a tad lower, but they seem to be pretty good on there. It's not too many crazy injuries, but it does seem to be every once in a while a player will go down with a career-ending injury. For penalties, obviously I have those turned on. Offsides is going to be turned on. You can just take a quick look at this. I got my false start kind of up there, holding. Face mask is right next to offensive pass interference. Defensive pass interference, I have that turned up all the way, and even then there's some defensive pass interference that doesn't get called, just part of the game. Catching interference, because that's something that a lot of the times doesn't get called a lot. Clipping, which gets called far too often, typically, I would say. That's why I have it lower. Intentional grounding, that seems to be pretty good. Roughing the passer is kind of a ticky-tacky call. Sometimes a defensive lineman will brush the quarterback or just walk past them. It's almost like modern day pass interference calls in real life, where it'll just nothing will happen. And there's also some times where quarterbacks will get absolutely walloped after they let go of the football and there's no flag at all. So that's also just part of the game. Roughing the kicker, just a tad lower. Not something that gets called incredibly often, but when it, someone runs into the kicker, it typically will get called. And what you came here for, the actual sliders. Quarterback accuracy and pass blocking is about mid there. You can see the offensive code. So if you just put that into your franchise settings and, hit the select button, it will take you to there where you can type it in and just get the exact sliders that I'm using. Wide receiver catching is about in the middle there. Since I am playing on All Pro as opposed to All Madden, the sliders are, adjusted for that. And, this might even be a little bit high for what I got. Run blocking is a little bit high. Part of that's maybe just because I'm bad at running the football in this game, and the other part, maybe running the football is not the easiest thing in the world to do in this game. Going to the defense here, the defense is especially what takes a hit. The awareness is a little lower. The interceptions are pretty low. I had to just keep turning them lower and lower. If you remember, maybe back in season 5, season 6, Ike Taylor and Dre Bly and Terrence Newman out there just getting interceptions like nobody's business, getting 10 interception seasons. So really had to tone that down, because Ike Taylor getting an interception to begin with and then getting 10 of them in a season and then doing that multiple times. Yeah, I had to bring that down. Pass blocking is a little bit up. Pass rushes seems kind of weird in this game at times, so I'd have it right about there, and haven't gotten anything too insane with it being that high. Tackling is a little bit lower there. And then looking at the special teams, it's all just the same across the board. Field goal accuracy might be something I'll tone down in the future, just because, it's very rare to miss a field goal, at least in this series with, Martin Gramatica and John Hall and Brian Koch. It's very rare that you see a miss in the series. So now looking at the CPU, and as you can see, it's all boosted up there except for pass blocking, and that's the same argument I made with the break block on the user sliders, just, you know, getting sacks and you know, trying to keep that number somewhat realistic, especially since when we have like all 90 overalls on the line and we're getting like no sacks, and it's like, okay, that needs to be adjusted a little bit. Defensively, it's pretty similar. Awareness is all the way up. Knockdowns is almost all the way up there. Interceptions is getting up there. Breaking, block, and tackling almost all the way. And special teams, it's all the same here. It's just a little bit more than the human sliders, the user sliders that I got going on there, as you can see. And I also do use the NFL streak controls as opposed to the default ones. I just like being able to use R1 to sprint as opposed to pushing X to sprint. It just makes more sense to me, and you know, that's what the modern Maddens use as well. So when, you know, I have the option to change the controls to something like that, I usually do. And that's going to be it for today's video. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed it, leaving a like is always appreciated. If you're new around here, going ahead and subscribing if you so desire to. And if you like this video, you also might like my Albuquerque Vipers series that I've been doing in Madden 07. So you can go ahead and check that out. Let me know in the comment section down below your thoughts on my sliders and whatnot, what maybe you would like to see adjusted, or maybe you can just tell me the settings that you use in your own franchises. Well, that's going to be it for me today, and until next time, this has been Jeffrey, reminding you to stay moist.